You're listening to the Level Up Lounge podcast.
Level up.
Level up. Level up.
Level up.
Level up. You're listening to the Level Up Lounge podcast. Yes, episode 2 of the Level Up Lounge is finally here. Thank you to everyone that tuned in last time for episode 1 with Jotty Tension. If you are looking for the free Jotty Tension training mix, it's a music mix that we put together of Jotty's favorite songs. We cleaned up any songs that had bad language or curse words or drug references. We took all of that out so it's completely clean and you can play it for any of your classes and not have to worry about the content. You can get that mix and stream it. The link is provided on our website at www.levelupmymusic.com/lounge. You can also get it on our Facebook page, the Level Up Music Facebook page. Just like the page, and then you will be able to see the link for the mix and be able to access that. I am really excited for today's show. Let me let you know what we have going on today. So first off, our guest is Nick D. He is a marketing legend. He has helped tons of martial arts schools and small businesses to really increase their revenue, increase their marketing, increase their image, and just overall help to take their business to the next level. He's going to be on the show, and I suggest you get a pen and a notepad ready because he is dropping knowledge bombs today. After we interview Nick, we're going to be going through our triple kick of the week. Triple kick. I will never get sick of that soundbite. It is amazing. So our triple kick, we're reviewing 3 items: Hyper Fight Club boxing gloves, Wavemaster XXL heavy bag, and then lastly, one of my books that I just got done reading. It is an awesome book, and I will give you the title and recommend that to you as well in our triple kick section. But next, let's get right into it with the marketing legend, the business mentor, one of the greatest guys that I know, Nick D. Welcome to the show.
Yo, how you doing, Jason? I'm sorry, Adam. How you doing?
I'm really good at editing. It's cool.
It's funny. I had a call with your brother earlier, but I'm actually on my way. Michael is coming to pick me up in about an hour, and we're going to hang out with Damon John and Gary Vaynerchuk in Manhattan. So pretty hectic day, but I told your brother earlier, and then I have you, so that's why I confused you and Jason. That's
like a slow Tuesday for you guys, right? Hanging out with Damon John and Gary V.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been exciting this year so far, just hanging out with Michael and traveling with him. Met a lot of really cool people, so this one's up there with some of the best.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And just for the people listening that don't know who you are or maybe just have heard of you here and there, can you just give us like a brief background about you and your relation with martial arts business?
Yeah, sure. So basically, for those who don't know, Michael Perella, he's the guy the founder of I Love Kickboxing. It's one of the fastest growing fitness franchises. And we also have I have nothing to do with the franchise, but most of you, if you want to look him up, he's really developing into a powerhouse for franchise brands all over the world. He has other ones coming out. His new one coming out with Damon John in July, and he's got several other ones on the horizon. And other people are reaching out to him, so it's been really exciting. But anyway, we also have a consulting company for martial arts school owners called Perella Consulting. It was founded by Michael, and we're partners in the consulting company, and we serve a little bit over 1,000 martial arts and fitness gyms from a variety of products, anywhere from $97 a month for a digital product all the way up to our high-level mastermind, which we meet 3 times a year. That's totally badass.
And I cannot say enough good things about Team Perella. Those of you guys listening may not know, but Nick's actually my business mentor, and he's helped out Level Up a ton and just given me some amazing advice throughout this last year. So definitely check out Team Perella. As I mentioned in your introduction, Nick, you are now officially an author, so congratulations. Can you tell us about your book Unstuck that you've written?
Yes, it's actually called Unstuck Yourself. So I kind of like the title because it was almost in line with. Am I allowed to curse on this call?
You can. We can always beep it out.
Okay, so I like to unstuck yourself because it's kind of like go f yourself. And I thought that, that gets people's attention, like when you tell someone the same thing. So unstuck yourself. I believe that most people, the majority of the population, is stuck in one aspect of their life. I know I was stuck in several aspects of my life, and that's what inspired me to write the book, because of it wasn't what I thought I needed to do to change. It was the things that I never thought about that I needed to do to change. And, so I went through this transformation, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And so a lot of people followed me. That's how I kind of built my following, because a lot of people saw the transformation, including yourself, and, how stressed out I used to be, working crazy hours, and, just doing a whole bunch of things. And Michael, took me under his wing, and him and Joe Polish, they were some of my mentors that helped me out tremendously. And so obviously the best thing you do is give back. So I have several conversations, hundreds a week, of different entrepreneurs, and a lot of times I can get on the phone with them right away. I already see like what the problem is just by listening to them, just by listening to them talk, not even hearing their problems, just by listening to them, and I know right away. I'm like, what their problem is. The hardest part is that a lot of people, you can't see your problems. You think that you can, but it's really better from someone else on the outside, like your wife or a significant other. A lot of people, they reach out to you, and they're the ones trying to help you. So my wife tried, and it was really Michael that got through to me. I have to say, like, he really just was really honest with a lot of my flaws and why I was where I was, and I trusted him, and I listened to him, and everything started changing. And then I didn't stop there. I think that, once you do go through those changes, it's all about, continuing on. Like, your mindset is like a muscle. Like, you have to work your mindset day in and day out, reading, podcasts, writing, listening, whatever, speaking, all those different things could help you. So that's I'm excited about the book. It'll be released in MABS at our business summit coming up March 31st.
That's awesome. I know I'm really excited for the book. I've been following you forever, and also just watching your videos on Facebook. If you guys aren't following Nick D on Facebook, I definitely recommend it. So I'd search him and follow him. He posts some amazing videos, not only on like the business aspect of things, but just as he was saying, like on mindset, and sort of getting yourself thinking the right way to be successful. He also has an awesome podcast called The Daily Dose with Nick D, which is, again, gives great advice and things that just sort of help you change your life for the better. Now, Nick, I know I was able to pre-order the book. Where can our listeners go to pre-order the book?
They can go on Amazon. Right now, that's the only place it'll be is on Amazon. So it's it was just really made for the people that are attending the event. I'm going to be giving a copy, kind of give away a little secret, but I'm going to give away a copy to everyone that attends the event after my class that I do. So they can just go on Amazon and look up Unstuck Yourself to Nick D.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And I know you're talking about MABS as the event that's coming up, and you've helped a large number of martial arts schools to go from diving to striving and just improving in different areas of their business. What would you say is the one major challenge that most school owners struggle with when you begin to help them?
It's their ego. The thing is that I believe that time's running out for a lot of them. I think that that you can only hang around for so long. So right away, you start sensing that the ones you can help, the ones you can't help, because they're stuck in their ways. They're stuck in their mindsets. They're stuck in what they did 20 years ago. Like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, get over it. Like, pat yourself on the back, but move on. That's and that is the single most common thing, the common pattern that I've noticed. It's just their ego, and the ones that remember, it's like our style is a lot different. We don't ask you to call us like master, sensei, all that stuff. Bow to us. Like, we just want to give people real advice to help them as quickly as possible. So I've had some interesting conversations with people where I just told them, I'm like, listen, like, you need to really understand that you're the problem. If you don't realize that, I'm not going to be able to help you. And we've actually let go of some clients, which is unusual, at least in our industry, because if we don't think we can help someone, we don't want them to pay us. So, if they can't admit that they're the problem, then it's really difficult to help them. So it's that ego, it's that, caring about, or remembering, or thinking that whatever you did 20 years ago, or the tournament you participated in, or what kind of champion you are in your style, or whatever degree you are, it has no relevance. It doesn't matter. Once they start realizing that has nothing to do with their business, that you're not. That's not why they're there. They're there. People are there so they can get the results they want. So once they understand that, then it's easier for them to let their ego go down, because then they start realizing that, it's the same thing with me. I don't care about what I did yesterday. It's like I need to prove myself every day, every day, and prove myself. So that's the way I look at it. And it's like I don't worry about what I did back in 2006. Who cares?
Yeah, I think that's something I definitely agree with, especially working with school owners a lot as well. I think that's something that's not only run into recently, but I think that's just been part of martial arts, like since I can remember from being a kid, being around martial arts business all the time. And I think that hit home with me when I went to you guys' Nucleus event. Not only hearing you talk about it, but a couple other the presenters as well. And then when I got home, I just did a complete self-evaluation of myself and also the business. But I'm like, it's on me. I need to make some changes to make it more successful. So I 100% agree. That's awesome. Now I know a big discussion in a lot of the different martial arts school owner groups is on marketing their martial arts school. What would you say right now is the best way available to market someone's karate school?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because I was actually going to bring it up. I was actually going to bring that one up. Here's the real answer. It's like, I talked about this on my podcast this morning that goes out tomorrow. And I said that, if you remember, everyone was talking about the why, your why and your purpose.
Sure.
And everybody talked about that last year, and it was a big thing. And to me, I was like, what the fuck? I've already thought about my why years ago. I knew my purpose was to just provide people with the best information and help that I possibly could to get them where they want to go. That's really simple. If I get people where they want to go, I get where I want to go. Pretty easy. So that was my purpose. That's what I was meant to do, is to help other people. So the thing is, when it comes to marketing, it's the same question. But the problem is everyone's looking at it the wrong way. When they think of marketing, they think of how could I get more clients? How could I make more money? So right there, when that's their purpose, that's why they're not either they're struggling or they haven't seen the light yet. So what they really need to be thinking about is, how can I provide evidence, to my audience that makes them believe I could help them get where they want to be, or help them get what they want to achieve. That's it. That is the key to marketing. And the thing is, even people that have millions of likes and followers and these gurus and people out there, listen, just because, they have thousands and millions of likes doesn't mean that they know how to market a small business. It just really doesn't. People, celebrities, people that have fans, but this small business thing, that's what you need to understand right away. It's okay, what are they looking for? Okay, and when you collect that evidence that I've talked about so much, and I've read a lot of different books. I think Robert Cialdini is the best. I think that when I listen to his books out of all these advertising experts and everyone that I've read, and I've read them all, Cialdini, when he talks about evidence, it's that's what you really have to understand. We are in an evidence-based decision from consumers. That's what they're looking for. They're making their decisions based on evidence. Okay, not on your claims, not on your reasons that you think that everybody's looking for. So if when you message or talk to or communicate with your members or whatever business you're in, and you find out what their fears were, what their pains were, why were they afraid to become a customer? What were some of their objections? When you find out that, and you act like a reporter, and you get as much intel as you can, then it becomes really simple. It's the message you're delivering. You collect the evidence, and then figuring out the best way to distribute that message, of how that you're able to help others get this success. Stories, videos, email, every way possible. It's not just email's dead. I said that 6 years ago. I said email marketing's dead. What a mistake I made. It was the message I had was wrong. People still read emails. So to me, that's the real mistake people are making is they're thinking about how to make money rather than how to provide value that, and evidence that makes other people believe that, you're able to provide them with the help that they're looking for. That's the simple answer. It's very complicated. It's a lot to it because a lot of people think, oh, yeah, it sounds good. I'm just going to start doing this. Well, and that's why I mentioned, on a lot of my videos lately, Adam, has been this marketing audit. The marketing audit is your it's your why. And the sad thing is that I noticed is the very few people that either sent it back to me or even commented or did anything, because that was really to help everyone really just get their shit together and understand that it's not about making money. It's about providing value, collecting evidence, and making people believe in themselves. And the lack of planning and strategy, again, it's like everyone talks about all these things or whatever, but no one's showing you the how. I'm showing you the how to do it. This is what you need to do. So anyone who's listening to this podcast, just email me or whatever. Go through Adam. If you haven't done this audit of your purpose and understanding and having everything align, which is your purpose, your objectives, and the actual tactics. If everything's in alignment, then it works. If not, it's like riding a bicycle with handlebars that are to the left and having pedals that are loose and having a seat that's falling off. If you want to ride on a bike like that, great. I don't. I want to ride on a Mach 10 speed that's well put together, great balance, and just is badass. That's how I want to ride. And that's the way your marketing needs to be, Adam. So I hope that answers your question.
I hope you guys that are listening are taking massive amounts of notes right now. If not, you guys need to rewind and listen to that answer again, because he just identified something that can help out tons of businesses if you guys actually put it into action. So definitely take notes on that, and email me or Nick, and I can get you Nick's contact information. We'll put it up on the website as well. So that way, if you need to contact him to find out more about the systems and things he has, you can do that. Nick, when you were saying that 6 years ago you thought email marketing was dead, that sort of reminds me of a lot of school owners. When I see people recommend doing Facebook ads, one of the biggest pushbacks I always see is, well, I tried Facebook ads once and it didn't work for me. What do you have to say to those school owners that are thinking that?
Oh, it's kind of similar back, where people talked about direct mail or talked about any type of marketing, and the challenge is that it's their mindset, and they're not saying to themselves that, even when they did the direct mail campaigns that didn't work or their print advertising didn't work, what didn't work was them. They were the problem. They did not put out the right message. They did not have the right copy. They did not have the right headline. They didn't have the right offer. There was not a lot of psychological principles to make people take action. And it's the same exact thing today with Facebook. The people that say it doesn't work, okay, great, because I'll keep taking the money. If you are not going to figure it out, that's even better, because that just allows me to get more clients, and us to get more clients. So that I kind of laugh with the people that just really still don't see it, and they want to say that it didn't work. And here's the thing. I'll break it down for you. Pretty simple. The first problem could be your website, which is a whole conversation. If you don't have the right website that is a direct response website, meaning it's set up to get you members online, not having to call them and email them and harass them. If you don't have that, that's the mistake number one. The second thing is the copy, the sales copy that you have on your pages. If it's not done by a professional, then you're just basically losing another 20 or 30% people, 40 probably. It could be up to 60% of the people that visit your website. If it's not done by an actual conversion expert and someone understands all those different things that have to be aligned in order for it to work. So there's another reason, okay? And then obviously, besides having things on your website that are distractions and take people off of your website, I see people making their own websites and they have links, taking them to Facebook and taking them to Twitter and YouTube. Just think about the stupidity in that. And it's common sense. Why would you have links taking them? They're driving everybody to this, basically drive-in movie theater. Okay, and you got everybody there, but then on the outskirts of the movie theater, you have all these bonfires going, and you're telling everybody to come, and then they leave the movie theater. Same exact thing. So that's a whole. I could do a whole podcast on that, all the problems of people's websites. The second thing is the Facebook. The Facebook page that you're running your ads from, it's got to be a sales page that basically has everything that a person that would be interested in training or using your business, make them the same thing I talked about before, like having the belief by looking at the evidence on that page, which is a series of videos, articles, whatever, testimonials, written testimonials, video, success stories, whatever, that makes people believe they actually can get the results they're looking for. And then the other thing is, the mistakes is, people think that they're just going to sell everybody all the time. And so all you're doing is you have this audience, and you just keep telling them to buy your trial over and over and over again. Meanwhile, you provide no actual substance or any type of value to make them even get warm. You're just trying to convert cold traffic, and it doesn't work. So, it's a formula, it's a science, and for the people that say that it doesn't work, it's you are the reason why it's not working. Like your lack of knowledge, your lack of expertise, and your lack of trying to be resourceful in getting with the right people that could help you fix that problem. So it's working all over the world. And there's always that one or two people that says it doesn't work in my area. You don't work. That's the problem.
That drive-in theater analogy was amazing. Thank you for that. I think that made it way easier to understand too. All right, so you gave us some amazing information that school owners can act on right away to help their martial arts school really benefit and grow and become more successful. Now I want to get into a little bit of the fun questions with you, if that's cool.
Let's do it.
All right, one of the things we like to ask all of our guests is about music. So do you have a favorite song that you are working out to or that motivates you to work out currently?
Oh, absolutely. It's already my I guess I'll let whoever's coming to Mabs will get in on a little secret, but it's Nas and it's Major Look.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very symbolic for me because I'm obviously in the attention getting business, and I think I do a pretty good job of it, me and Michael. So for me, it's my presentation at Mabs is all going to be about the things that I've done to grab attention, and then I have a whole bunch of things that are going to help everyone, grab attention, because that's it. Without grabbing attention, you don't make it to the next part. The first part is getting attention, and if you're not getting it, you need to, or someone else is going to, and you're going to take your clients or take people that could be your clients.
That's a great song. If you guys don't know who Nas is, you guys need to check him out. Check out Major Look. Check out his Illmatic album. It's so good. Also, if you guys haven't heard, I talked to Nick D a little bit about this before our conversation today. We're going to be working on a Nick D workout mix, right?
Yes.
So we'll have some of Nick's favorite songs on there. Maybe we can get some quotes from Nick to throw in the mix also. But it'll pretty much be his favorite songs to work out to, and then we're going to mix it professionally, have scratching in there, all sorts of crazy shit. It'll be amazing.
I can't wait for that, man. I'm so excited about that. So is that like a week away, Adam, or how long?
So we're going to have it in 2 weeks when we do our next podcast. It'll be available for everybody to stream. We'll have a link on the website, and then Nick, I'll make sure that we get you a link of the mix as well, so that way you can share it with anyone that you would like.
That's awesome.
All right, moving on. Second question. Favorite book that you've read recently?
Well, and how many more questions are there?
One more after this one.
Okay, good, because this one's going to be like an atomic bomb for everyone. So it's very interesting. I think in the past 2 years, the books that I've chosen have been just the most well-timed books ever for where I was in my life. So the best book that I've read recently, I started reading it and I finished it this morning. It's called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And it was very ironic, and there was a lot of symbolism behind it, because here's what happened. So, and I think a lot of people will relate to this. So when I started reading the book, and the thing that caught my attention was, the obstacle is the way. And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, I don't want to keep reading marketing books and sales copy and studying all these different things. I wanted to do something for my mind. So I kind of go back and forth between marketing and sales and advertising to usually something for mindset or spiritual growth and stuff like that. So I went on to, I thought this would be great. I already knew that, when you look at obstacles, it's all how you view them. I understand that. But I'm like, if this guy can give me more, then I'm all down for it. So I started reading it, and as I'm sitting there, I took a little bit of a break, and it's Super Bowl Sunday, and Tom Brady's on television, and they're interviewing him, and they're talking about his mother having cancer, and he's dedicating this game to his mother, and it's just his demeanor, just like the way he spoke, just his like focus, and just everything about him. Like I just said to myself, like, this guy, there's no way they're going to beat, anyone's going to beat him. And this was before the game started, obviously. So I remember just like being so confident and telling everybody that I spoke to, I'm like, there's there's no chance of the Falcons winning, and I really believed it. So I read the majority of the rest of the book. Amazing content, talking about this. Whenever you have an obstacle, it takes practice in not becoming emotional and not becoming irrational, not becoming impatient, whatever. All those different attributes that happen when people are faced with obstacles. It talks about following this process. And I'm not going to give you the process because it's not fair, but it's like when you have these obstacles, it's realigning like your mind and looking at them and using this process. And if you use this process, like, you'll become more patient. You won't be like just very emotional and make poor decisions. And it really was just one of the best books I've ever read. Now, what ends up happening is, obviously, the Patriots start playing, and I remember it's 20-3, end of the third quarter, and I was like, this is crazy. I said, like, but you know what? Ask my wife. It was unbelievable. I said to Nicole, I said, I don't care what anyone says. I said, I'm telling you, babe. I said, Tom Brady's going to get one more chance at the end of this game, and he's going to be able to tie it up. Because I already started doing calculations. I didn't think he'd be able to win it, so I said he's going to be able to tie it up. I think they just scored their first touchdown, right around that time. So anyway, so now here we are, and then they score, and then it gets a little bit closer. Then Matt Ryan gets sacked. Then there's a fumble, whatever. All this stuff starts happening, and I just remember now all of a sudden Brady's on that drive to take them down to tie the game, and I told my wife, I said, this is unbelievable because there's not even a chance that Tom Brady, the way he is, that there's no chance of them stopping him. It's just he has them scared to death. I said, like, that is the one guy that I would not want to be in that situation against, and that's it, ever, of all time. And for those of you that know, he went down. That was it. But the point of this was that I went into this book, and when I went into the office, I was so happy to see Michael and to tell him that I read this book, and it reminded me so much of you and how you never look at problems like anyone else I've ever met in my life, and how you have taught me to look at the obstacles. And I said, Mike, and I'm comparing you to Mark Aurelius and John D. Rockefeller, they told stories, and it was like the very similar mindsets. And I think that if there's another takeaway, it's like the perspective, the perception, okay, of how you look at things. Like, that's really the key of where you're going. And like, it's this circle of influence that you're around. If it's the wrong people, you're in trouble. Like, I can't. If I made hard decisions and removing people from my life that I never thought I would do. And if I would have stayed around them, I would have basically not been where I'm at today, which is living a rock star lifestyle. Like, it's insane what I've done already this year. I've done more this year than most people hope to do, like, in their 3 to 5 years or even in life. It's been crazy, the people that I'm hanging out with. And so these decisions and these obstacles that you're faced with, the answers are there. And in your heart sometimes you need to cut someone out of your life. But it's like very few people, choose to do it. And it's the people that do choose to do the radical moves are the ones that really become the bosses.
That's sick, man. That's why you're my mentor. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right, one last question, quick one. Favorite martial arts movie of all time?
Oh man, it's so funny. Like, believe it or not, I'm not even a big martial arts movie buff. So I have to say, I got into karate because of the Karate Kid.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah. But other than that, man, I don't know of any other Jackie Chan or anything like that. But I love Ralph Macchio, and I was in love with what's it called? What's her name?
Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, Elizabeth Shue. I fell in love with her late as she got older after the Karate Kid.
Dude, that's my favorite movie of all time. Did we just become best friends?
Great. Well, let me tell a little secret. So one of our favorite pastimes in my house in Jersey is I have a ping pong table, and we would only song we played to was "You're the Best Around," and we used to have tournaments, and that was the only song that was allowed to be played in my basement. And I said, if you don't like it, then basically leave, because this is my favorite song, and I played "You're the Best Around," and that's my song.
Dude, I used to watch that movie before every tournament when I'd compete. The night before, I'd bring my Karate Kid VHS with me, and I'd rock that the night before to get pumped up for my tournament.
Hey, that's awesome, man. And I think everyone needs like a different form of motivation, like, music, movies, whatever, like reading, whatever it is. You have to have something that pumps you up. That's why I love your music.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Nick, thank you so much for joining us in the Level Up Lounge. I learned a ton just from talking to you a little bit today, and I hope all of our listeners really learned a lot and was able to start putting some of these things into action right away. Thank you so much for being with us, Nick.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, have a good one.
Holy crap, that was an amazing interview with Nick D. If you did not get information out of that interview that you can put to use right away, I suggest you re-listen to it, take notes, and then take action right afterwards. We are so happy to have Nick on our show, and this is a big reason why we have a guest every single episode, so that they can drop knowledge bombs on you guys and help you to level up your business and level up your mindset and your personal life. And that's what this podcast is all about. So thank you, Nick D, for joining us. That was great. Next, I want to move on to our segment called The Triple Kick.
And now it's time for the Level Up Lounge Triple Kick.
Oh, that soundbite is so good. So as you know, with our Triple Kick, we review 3 different products or services that are related to the martial arts world. And the first one we're going to review today really isn't martial arts specific, but if you covet personal growth, if you covet setting and reaching goals, then I highly recommend this book. This book has been recommended to me by Nick D. It's been recommended to me by my brother. I think after my brother read it, he was talking about it nonstop for like a month straight. So the book is called Mini Habits, and it's by Stephen Guise. I think the last name is Guise. It's a really, really short read, but it is amazing. So let me give you just a little bit of what I got out of it. I don't want to spoil too much for you because I want you guys to be able to read it and get your own perspective from the book. But the book talks about breaking down your goals and your habits to the ridiculously simple. For example, one of the first examples that they use in the book is if your goal is to get fit, then you're going to make a mini habit that's ridiculously simple to do 1 push-up a day. And it can be so simple that if you're lying on the ground and you use your arms to push yourself up to stand up, that even counts as a push-up. And one of the biggest things I got out of this is if you miss a day, if you miss doing whatever your mini habit is for a day, you don't have to make it up the next day. You don't get down on yourself, and you just try and start back on track the next day. So for me personally, it's helped with a few things. It's helped with my leg workouts, because for my leg workouts, I was not really as consistent as I wanted to be with my training. So I decided that I was going to do 1 tuck jump a day as my mini habit. And now, after doing that for about 2 months, it's turned into like full out like leg workout, and it's awesome. The other thing it's helped me with is reading books and listening to podcasts. So I have made a goal to read 2 pages a day or listen to 5 minutes of a podcast each day. And I've been doing that consistently, missing a few days here or there, but consistently since I've read the book. It's been amazing. Another one of my favorite parts of this book is the author discusses the difference between motivation and willpower, because I think a lot of us seek out motivation to get things done all the time instead of actually using willpower, because motivation only goes so far. But when you have willpower, when you have reserves of willpower, you're able to push yourself when you're tired. You're able to push yourself when you're not feeling 100%. And that's huge. And that's just a really, really big mindset shift that I got from this book. So I encourage you guys to go out and get it. I think it's like $10, maybe even less. There's also an audio version on Audible. So again, the book is called Mini Habits, and the author is Stephen Guise. second product that we're going to talk about on the triple kick is the Hyper Fight Club boxing gloves. So one thing that I really love doing for my workouts is I love hitting heavy bags. And one of the things I wanted to check out as soon as they came out with it was the Hyper Fight Club boxing gloves. So these boxing gloves, they're pretty cool. They're white. They have the Hyper Fight Club logo on the back of the glove. On the strap that velcros around your wrist, it says "We train to win," which is sort of a cool mindset / reminder every time you put the gloves on. After using them a lot on heavy bags, all sorts of different training, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, point fighting, I have to say I'm like in love with these gloves. If you guys love doing heavy bag work, boxing, kickboxing, I really suggest you check them out. They retail for around $49.95. If you're a hyper school, I know you can get it at wholesale, so it'll be much cheaper. But the gloves are like made really, really solid, and they've taken a beating on my bag, and they still look pretty much brand new. I love the comfort level of the gloves as I'm punching. It's pretty easy to make a fist in them as well. So if you guys are looking for a new boxing glove, I suggest you check out the Hyper Fight Club boxing glove. You will not regret it. They are amazing. All right, last part of our triple kick, sort of going in the same theme with our boxing gloves, is if you're looking for a heavy bag to train on, I really, really suggest the Century Wavemaster XXL heavy bags. Here's reason number one why I suggest these. The durability is amazing with these. We've had them at our school for going on 10 years, maybe a little bit more than that, and we still have the same heavy bags that entire time. And that's after thousands and thousands and thousands of kicks and punches and elbows and all sorts of crazy stuff. We even use them for our performance team when they train kip-ups. We have them actually lie on the Wavemaster. We put it on its side. We have them lie on it and work kip-ups. We've used them for obstacle courses. All sorts of different things. The other thing I really like is you can train all heights of kicks on these as well. So since it's longer than your normal Wavemaster heavy bag, you can do leg kicks, head kicks, everything. Really durable bag to use. You fill the base with either water or sand or a combination of the two. And they retail for around $2.99 depending where you get them from. But it is a really solid heavy bag, and it's going to last you an extremely long time. Really high quality. So just recapping our 3 triple kicks for this episode. First is the book Mini Habits by Stephen Geis. I know you can find it on Amazon. Second is the Hyper Fight Club boxing glove, which is one of my favorite boxing gloves I've ever trained with. And then lastly, the extremely durable and long-lasting Century XXL Wavemaster heavy bag. Portable, easy to use. I love it. And I know many school owners swear by it. It's like the only one that they use at their school. So definitely check that out. That's from Century Martial Arts. So thanks for checking out the triple kick.
Triple kick.
Well, I hope you got a lot out of this episode today with our interview and with our product reviews. I want to let you know that coming up this next week, we're having a episode number 2.5. Now, normally our podcast will air every 2 weeks, but I've been getting a lot of questions recently and also seen a lot of posts in different martial arts school message groups about music licensing. And it can get really, really confusing when you start talking about music licensing because there's so many different kinds. I've been trained on this in school. I've done tons of studying it on my own, getting ready to start Level Up Music when it was just an idea. And I've trained with a lot of people in the industry on this too. So I'm really happy to share what I've learned and to share the do's and don'ts for playing music in your martial arts school. And also you'll hear me talk about companies like BMI and ASCAP, which are BMI. I've been seeing a lot of questions about in different martial arts groups where school owners have received a phone call from BMI saying that they need to pay for licensing for the music that they're playing in their school. Is it a scam? Well, we're going to go over all of that next week in our episode number 2.5. So I'm going to share my experience and also what I've learned through my schooling about music licensing and what it means for your business. So be sure to check that out. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you again to Level Up Music for sponsoring this awesome podcast. See you next week for episode 2.5.
LevelUpMyMusic.com. Level Up Music, the #1 music streaming service for martial arts schools. Get clean, family-friendly, motivating music mixes that your students and parents will love. It's so easy to use. All you need is a phone, tablet, or computer with an internet connection, and you're ready to start streaming. Upgrade the atmosphere in your school. Get started today.